The negotiation that the Biden administration is undertaking in Iran is fundamentally flawed. Senator Risch, Senator Cruz, and others have explained exactly why. It is absolutely fundamentally flawed. How do you negotiate with someone who is content to negotiate for as long as it takes for them to build a bomb while you're conducting the negotiation? This is structurally, fundamentally flawed. Not only are our negotiators not even at the table, they're negotiating with somebody who has no incentive to make a deal other than a deal that solely benefits them, that solely benefits Iran. Back in 2013, we passed Kirk Menendez, biting sanctions. We passed a law that would allow the president, then President Obama, to put the severest sanctions in place on Iran so that they could not sell their oil. Once you put those sanctions in place with no exceptions, then you sit down and negotiate with Iran. And not from the kiddies table. You're in the room with them. Now when they're under pressure, when the pressure's on Iran, when they can't sell their oil, when their economy is falling apart and their people take to the streets and go after their leaders, when there's real pressure on them so they have an incentive to negotiate, that's when you negotiate. That's the structural criteria that you have to create to have some semblance, some chance of success. Compare that to the situation today. The Biden administration has again backed off the sanctions, taking the pressure off Iran, and then enters into a negotiation where Russia's leading the negotiation and our negotiators aren't in the room. What incentive does Iran have to get to any kind of reasonable negotiation? First, they can negotiate for as long as they want and just keep building the bomb, which is what they're doing. And if they ever get to an agreement, it's going to be a deal that they agree to because there's no pressure on them because the sanctions aren't in place. So if it's a good deal, they'll take it. Otherwise, they'll keep negotiating and building the bomb. That's what's going on. And then you add to it that this administration, instead of saying, hey, we're going to produce all the oil and gas we can, and oh, by the way, we have the best environmental standards in the world, we're going to produce all the oil and gas we can here to stop the inflation that's going on in this country and to help our allies. They go around to Iran and to Venezuela and to OPEC instead of saying we're going to produce it here. That's the wrong approach. And the people of this country know it's the wrong approach. And we need to continue to put the pressure on to change that approach and get the right kind of approach, to get the administration going the right direction, whether it's dealing with Iran, whether it's dealing with this, with the inflation challenge we have, whether it's producing more energy in this country, whether it's supporting the valiant people who are fighting in Ukraine.
Senator Young.
Let me give an example in my state. My state, we were producing 1.5 million barrels a day. Just a little while ago, 1.5 million barrels a day. We're down to 1.1 million barrels a day. That's just for North Dakota. That's 400,000 barrels a day that we don't have because of all the restrictions, the regulatory burdens, all the things that Senator Cruz just talked about. Okay? And that's just one state. Now apply that to Texas and New Mexico, Alaska. You know, so clearly without all these restrictions and regulations, we could, take the handcuffs off. We can produce a lot more gas and oil. Or how about the fact that we're flaring gas? In my state right now we have stranded natural gas that we have to flare because we can't get the gathering systems and the permits to get that to market, or the LNG facilities. All these things have an impact right now as well as in the medium and longer term. How it defies common sense that at a time with energy prices spiking, $4.25 a gallon is the average today, and it's going up here at home. Our allies need oil and gas. Instead of saying, hey, let's empower American ingenuity to produce this oil and gas here where we have the best environmental stewardship in the country, and instead he's going around to Maduro in Venezuela or Iran or anywhere else. I mean, it's unbelievable. So that's what we're saying. That's what the American people know should be done right now. It's common sense. The Biden administration needs to change course, and let's get going on producing oil and gas, producing energy in this country.
Let me take it